Artificial intelligence firm Anthropic says it's created an AI model so powerful that it had to be withheld from public release. Anthropic claims its Claude Mythos model has uncovered software vulnerabilities and bugs in every major operating system and web browser, meaning it could become a major hacking tool. But are its capabilities being overhyped by Anthropic to whip up publicity? Well, Dr. Saeed Akhlaghpour is an associate professor of business information systems at the University of Queensland and joins me now. Good to have you with us. Now, from your understanding, can you tell us what is Mythos capable of?
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me. This is, I think it's a really interesting story because usually when something makes news, it's about a new AI model being released. But this time it is, as you said, it's withholding the release of this because Anthropic claims it's so powerful that it would be risky to release it to the public. But I want to say that we need to take it with a grain of salt, basically, because a lot of it could be marketing hype. Frankly, nobody really knows. We need to basically rely on what Anthropic PR is basically claiming. And the claims are big, obviously. So they claim that this new AI model was able to identify security risks that have gone unnoticed for 27 years on operating systems that runs on our routers or wireless devices. Apparently it was able to escape its sandbox and basically send an email while it was not supposed to have access to the internet. So these are interesting big claims. But again, it's only Anthropic who has access at the moment, who has reported basically its evaluation. Only there was one other independent report from UK that was released yesterday from basically a government-funded body in the UK, basically Artificial AI Security Institute. And it didn't totally debunk the claims of Anthropic, but at the same time, it was more measured. It wasn't as radical as Anthropic claimed. So a lot of it I think, is marketing hype, and they are really good in marketing. That's a brilliant marketing move because everybody in the tech world, in the business world, are talking about it, including you and I here. So yeah, it's basically a little bit of both, I think.
Yeah, that's why we are talking about it. But look, hypothetically, if those capabilities did materialize, how would you describe what might happen? Because others are describing this as an AI, a possible AI super hacker that could make hacking activities and tools much more easier for, people like myself.
Yeah, I think that's a valid concern. So even we know that this particular model is a jump in cybersecurity capabilities. It might not be as radical as Anthropic claims, but that's the trend. So the new AI models are becoming more and more powerful in terms of finding the vulnerabilities and probably chaining them together to basically hack a new system or gain access to the systems. So that's really basically the burden is on the software vendors and firms who basically control the critical infrastructure to basically improve their defense system. So that's why, as you know, Anthropic released this to a selected group of tech companies first. They call it Project Glasswing, and they basically released it to big companies like Microsoft and Apple and Amazon and Google, Cisco for the hardware and network, and some of the big banks like JP Morgan. So to give them basically a head start in the race against the attackers. So essentially, these tools will at some point be available to the public. Maybe not this one, but the future version of other tools will be similarly powerful or closely powerful. So it would help both the attackers and defenders. So it's really important that defenders would use the opportunity to basically strengthen their defense mechanism on the internet.
Yes, and as you mentioned, they will, if a version of Mythos is released one way or the other, does it open, the possibility for misuse, because there are dangerous actors out there?
Yes, absolutely. And basically, that's the reason that at the moment they won't even say if they will eventually release it or not. That could be part of their marketing as well. But the point is that other models are getting good as well. So a few months ago, or maybe a year ago, that GPT model, GPT-4 was released. That was an amazing model. But nowadays we have open source models which have similar capabilities, and that's available to anybody who wants to fine tuning or using it. So these models will be available to both the good actors and malicious actors, bad actors, that's the thing with AI and cybersecurity. There needs to be the good actors need to stay ahead of the bad actors.
Yes.
It's a cat and mouse game.
Yeah, so if other similar models might be available, like you mentioned, from OpenAI, do you expect companies like OpenAI to have their own sort of Project Glasswing?
Yeah, that's a very good point. And traditionally, Anthropic has been really good in terms of being responsible in terms of releasing the models and providing all the information. Maybe not so much with OpenAI, so that their reputation is not that good of basically thinking about AI safety. So yes, it is possible. I mean, the difference between these frontier labs is not that much. So Claude, so Anthropic and Google and OpenAI, and to some extent Meta and Facebook, they are all releasing models that are more or less similar. So I'm sure in a few months, or if not weeks, OpenAI would have a similar model with similar capabilities.
Yeah, and Saeed, just finally, speaking of OpenAI, Sam Altman's home had been attacked, but more broadly, does it symbolize, a more broader backlash that AI firms might be facing publicly in the future?
Yeah, that's a good point, and the timing is very interesting, because a few days ago there was an investigative report on a New Yorker magazine about Sam Altman's firing from OpenAI and bringing him back. And there was, so this is a very long 16,000-word investigative report about him. And it was said that there are concerns, people who worked closely with him had concerns about his trustworthiness or his concern about safety and AI security. So that's why it is important that public have some sort of oversight over these tech companies. We cannot leave them just to themselves, to the tech companies to regulate themselves. And there is a need for public to get involved and governments to regulate these technologies. We don't want to make the same mistake that we did with social media, again, with AI.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Saeed Akhlaghpour, I really appreciate your expertise and insights into this. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks.